Look, I need to be honest with you right from the start. When my captain, VRYNN, announced we were limping towards Sol 3, also known as Earth, for emergency repairs, I laughed so hard I nearly ruptured my secondary breathing sac. Earth, the backwater planet famous across 17 sectors for inventing nuclear weapons before achieving basic fusion. The species that sent golden records into space with maps pointing directly back to their homeworld. These were the people we were trusting with our dying ship. But here's the thing. Our hyperdrive had basically exploded, turning half our engine room into what I can only describe as sparkly cosmic soup. We were drifting on emergency thrusters, 3 weeks from the nearest civilized repair station, and Earth was sitting right there, conveniently along our trajectory. Beggars can't be choosers, as the humans say. Which, by the way, is a terrible philosophy, but surprisingly practical when you're about to become a very expensive meteor. They've responded to our distress signal, announced Krill, our communications officer. He had 4 eye stalks, and currently, all of them look deeply concerned. They're sending coordinates, and, oh, Captain VRYNN's head tentacles twitched nervously. I don't like O. O is never good. They're sending 17 ships to escort us. 17. We were a small cargo vessel with a crew of 8. Why would anyone need 17 ships to escort us? Unless, and this thought hit me like a plasma bolt, unless they thought we were invading. Oh, fantastic. Just fantastic. We were about to get vaporized by the species that still used chemical rockets for atmospheric escape. Except, and I cannot stress this enough, we didn't get vaporized. What happened instead was so much weirder. The human ships arrived within 6 hours. 6 hours. Do you understand how fast that is? They must have launched the moment they detected our distress signal, possibly before. Their vessels were primitive-looking, sure, covered in what appeared to be bolted-on armor plating and excessive weaponry. But they moved with precision that made my scales itch with grudging respect. A transmission came through. Unidentified vessel. This is Captain Maria Torres of the Earth Defense Coalition ship, Thunderchild. We've received your distress call. Are you experiencing hostile action? Do you require immediate medical assistance? Are there any biological contaminants we should be aware of? VRYNN cleared his throat, or the alien equivalent. Negative on all counts, Captain Torres. We just need repairs. Our hyperdrive has malfunctioned. There was a pause. Then, copy that. We're transmitting approach vectors to our orbital repair station. Please maintain current speed and trajectory. And hey, welcome to the neighborhood. Hope you like coffee. Coffee. What in the infinite cosmos was coffee? The repair station was not what I expected. I'd anticipated some barely functional orbital platform, held together with what humans call duct tape and prayers. Instead, we approached a massive, gleaming structure that looked like someone had taken 6 different architectural styles, thrown them in a blender, and somehow made it work. Solar arrays stretched like wings. Docking bays glowed with organized chaos. And everywhere, there were ships. Human ships, yes, but also Vexian traders, Quillix research vessels, even a Thrindari diplomatic cruiser. When exactly did Earth become a hub? I muttered. 3 years ago, apparently. Krill replied, eye stalks glued to his scanner. According to their public networks, they've been upgrading their infrastructure at an exponential rate. They've gone from chemical rockets to fusion drives in under a decade. Impossible. That kind of technological leap required centuries. Millennia, even we docked. The bay pressurized. And then the humans arrived. Captain Torres was shorter than I'd imagined, with dark hair pulled into a practical knot and eyes that missed absolutely nothing. She extended her hand, which I'd learned was a human greeting gesture. Welcome aboard, Orbital Station Armstrong. Let's take a look at your ship. Her chief engineer, a massive human named Duke with arms like cargo loading equipment, whistled when he saw our engine room. Well, that's impressive. You managed to fracture your hyperdrive containment field, fuse your antimatter injectors, and somehow not explode. I'm genuinely curious how you're still alive. Skill, VRYNN said defensively. Luck, I corrected. Duke grinned. It was terrifying. Humans bare their teeth when happy. Still getting used to that. Good news is, we can fix this. Bad news is, it'll take about 4 days. Good news again. We've got spare parts that'll actually improve your system efficiency by about 30%. 30%. I couldn't hide my skepticism. No offense, But Earth just achieved fusion travel. How do you have parts that can upgrade a hyperdrive built by the Morvaxian collective? Duke's grin widened. Well, funny story about that. And that's when Captain Torres handed me something in a white container. Steam rose from the dark liquid inside. It smelled bitter, earthy, and somehow appealing. That's coffee, she said. You're going to need it for this explanation. She was right. Oh, ancestors preserve me. She was absolutely right. The coffee tasted like someone had liquefied determination and added a hint of madness. I took another sip while Duke pulled up holographic schematics that made my brain hurt in fascinating ways. So, here's the thing. Duke began, cracking his knuckles in a way that made several joints pop loudly. About 5 years ago, a Xanther trading ship crashed in the Pacific Ocean. Crew survived, ship didn't. We pulled it out, reverse engineered everything we could, and then, well, we improved it. Improved it, I repeated flatly. Yeah. His enthusiasm was genuinely unnerving. See, the Xanther hyperdrive design is elegant but inefficient. Beautiful mathematics, terrible practical application. So we stripped out the crystalline matrix array, replaced it with a dual-core processing system, added redundant safety protocols, and boom. 40% better fuel efficiency, 20% faster calculation speeds. Captain Torres leaned against a bulkhead, sipping her own coffee. Turns out, when your species spends thousands of years finding creative ways to kill each other, you get really, really good at engineering. We just redirected that energy toward, not dying in space. I felt my translator struggling with the casual way she discussed planetary warfare as a technological benefit. That's horrifying. Yeah, we get that a lot, she said cheerfully. Over the next 4 days, I watched something that fundamentally changed my understanding of humanity. Their repair crews worked in organized swarms, communicating in rapid shorthand that somehow everyone understood. They didn't just fix our hyperdrive. They rebuilt it, upgraded our shield generators, reinforced our hull plating, replaced our outdated sensor array with something that could apparently detect a grain of sand from 3 light years away, and they talked. Oh, ancestors, did they talk? So there I was right. A technician named Alex was telling me while calibrating our new navigation computer. Hanging upside down in the maintenance shaft of a fusion reactor, trying to rewire the magnetic containment field when the emergency alarm goes off. Turns out, I'd accidentally triggered the fire suppression system. Got blasted with about 200 gallons of foam, stuck there for 40 minutes until someone found me. That sounds traumatic, I offered. Best Tuesday I'd had in months. Alex laughed, actually laughed, at nearly dying. Fixed the reactor though. Been running smooth ever since. This was humanity. A species that treated near-death experiences as amusing anecdotes. Who drank battery acid for breakfast and called it coffee. Who looked at advanced alien technology and said, neat, but have you tried adding more rockets? On day 3, VRYNN called a crew meeting in our newly upgraded observation deck. Through the viewport, Earth rotated slowly, blue and green and wrapped in swirling white clouds. Deceptively peaceful. I've been reviewing the station records, VRYNN said quietly. Earth isn't just a repair hub. In the last 3 years, they've mediated 4 trade disputes, stopped 2 pirate operations, and, most impressively, negotiated a peace treaty between the Corvith Empire and the Dracian Confederacy. Krill's eye stalks swiveled in surprise. The Corvith and Drexians have been at war for 600 years. Not anymore. The humans invited both delegations here, fed them something called pizza, got them drunk on fermented grain beverages, and somehow convinced them that continued warfare was economically stupid. VRYNN's tentacles rippled with what I recognized as confused admiration. The treaty was signed in a place called a bowling alley. I was starting to understand why 17 ships had escorted us. Not because Earth feared us. Because Earth was protecting us. This wasn't a backwater anymore. This was a power, growing fast, flexing muscles it had just discovered. And the terrifying part? They were friendly. Aggressively, enthusiastically, bring you coffee and upgrade your spaceship friendly. On our final day, Captain Torres gave us the repair invoice. I braced myself for devastating costs. No charge, she said simply. Excuse me. First-time visitors to Sol System get free repairs. Consider it a diplomatic investment. We fix your ship, you go home. You tell people Earth helped you out. Word spreads. More ships come. Everyone benefits. She shrugged like this was obvious. Plus, Duke wanted to test some new techniques on your hyperdrive model. You kind of helped us out too. I stared at her. You're telling me you completely rebuilt our ship, upgraded every major system, fed us for 4 days, and you want nothing in return? Well, she grinned that terrifying teeth-baring grin. Maybe tell your people we're hiring. We're expanding the station, building 12 more like it throughout the sector. Could use experienced crew members who know their way around non-human vessels. We left Earth's orbit 6 hours later. Our ship hummed with new efficiency. Our holds contained gifts, spare parts, and 70 pounds of coffee beans that Duke insisted we needed. And as we engaged our newly rebuilt hyperdrive, I watched Earth shrink behind us and realized something profound. We hadn't approached a primitive planet for emergency repairs. We'd stumbled into the workshop of a species that treated impossible as a suggestion, who looked at the vast, dangerous universe and said, "Hold my beer." 3 months later, I resigned my position and applied to work at Armstrong Station. They accepted immediately. Apparently, they needed someone who understood Morvaxian cargo systems. I start next week. Captain Torres promised to teach me how to bowl. I have no idea what that means, but honestly, I can't wait to find out. So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.